Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be able to do one of these again. Welcome back, everyone, to the Transform Recruiting Podcast. I am your host, Brad Owens. And I say excited to be able to do this again because I had a little eye mishap here recently, and now I can actually see again, which is fantastic. Having two working eyes is fun. But I'm back to be able to share all of this goodness with you all and share what's going on in my crazy little recruiting brain. So, where we last left off is we were talking a little bit about how to think differently in the recruiting space. I say think differently because I believe that the recruiting industry is dealing with problems that other industries have had to solve years and years ago. Case in point, we started off by saying, hey, what if you were to experience things through your candidate's eyes? What would they want? What would they want to see? What would they want from you? Well, today, let's think about the last time that you were impressed by customer service. So I'm going to give a little bit of time here for everyone to let their brains run through that question. The last time you were ever impressed by customer service. So I can tell you what typically comes up when I have these conversations with others. So there might be eating out at a restaurant. If you were eating out at a restaurant and you walked away from that saying, that was fantastic service, what happened during that interaction? Well, they likely were very attentive. They were very clear on what they were doing. You had confidence that they were bringing you the right stuff. They were very clear on when things were going to happen. They were very timely. They were always seemed to be there when you needed them, right? Like, oh my goodness, we're out of bread. Whoa, there's a new basket of bread. Or, man, my wine glass is getting kind of empty. Whoa, there they are to fill it up. Like, those types of things are fantastic when you're at a restaurant. I've had people who talk about the last time they had to return something or had a product issue. So think about returning something on Amazon. You just recently, I got a refurbished Apple Watch for my son for his birthday, and it showed up, and it was clearly not the same glass that came with the Apple Watch. So much so that it got chipped, like a huge scratch on the front of it when it landed on the carpet. So not the same glass, could even pick it off with my fingernail. So we wanted to return it. We were thinking, oh man, this is refurbished. It's kind of a, you know what you're getting into kind of thing. There's no chance. And they just took it back, no questions asked. And we were able to get a brand new one. No problem. That type of thing is what you expect from customer service, right? You expect the people who are supposed to be taking care of you to have those responses. So how does that relate to recruiting? Well, who are you taking care of? Who are you serving as a customer service rep? Well, you're serving typically in the recruiting space two different areas. You're either serving your customer, your client, or your hiring manager if this is internal recruiting. You're serving that person. They gave you a job to do, and you are now going out and dealing with your other customer, the talent, right? Whether it's a candidate, an applicant, whatever you want to call it, the talent. You are serving them as well. They have come to you, trusting you in their job search. What in their life is based off of the quality of their job? Oh, everything, or a lot of it. I won't say everything. I hope your job isn't everything in your life, but a lot of it, right? Puts food on our table. It allows us to, have the time off that we have or lack thereof if we're working 24/7. That is your customer, right? Your customer is talent. Your customer is your hiring rep, your client, your hiring manager, whoever it might be. So think about those interactions. You are an trusted advisor, trusted shepherd, a trusted individual to fulfill both of those needs. You are fulfilling the job opening and you're fulfilling the person needing the job. Both of them are having experiences in their daily life where they say, wow, that was great customer service. And they're having experiences like we discussed earlier. The server that was fantastic and attentive. The return process that was just incredibly easy. Yet, if you were to think about the recruiting space, how many of our processes can we confidently say are as easy to endure, and I use that word on purpose, endure, as those two customer experience examples that I came up with? Probably not a lot. There's not a ton, but that's what they expect. That's what they're getting from their daily life. That's what you needed to deliver to them. So how are you going to do that? What are some of the key themes that keep coming across during those types of interactions? Well, they are all transparent. How many times do we hear about the plague of the black hole in recruiting? You're either a person who's trying to get a job filled and you reach out to the recruiter says, absolutely, I'll get on working on that right now. Month goes by, 2 weeks go by, and you hear nothing. That's not okay. That's not being transparent. And then the same thing on the candidate side. You apply to a job, and what's everyone complaining about? They get no response. You need talent. You're not going to respond to these people, even if they're not a fantastic fit. They might be a fit for something else. We have a plague of not dealing with the right people that apply. Yes, I know a lot of what we get is garbage, blah, blah, blah. That's the people who are posting on Glassdoor just destroying your company. So I won't go down that rabbit hole. So it's transparent, right? We want to know where we're at in the process. And then being timely. You have to give updates in a timely manner. If you're 4 days for the first update and then 2 weeks for the second and then the next day for the other one, they can't rely on you. They don't know when this is going to happen. You haven't told them when the next update's going to happen. You haven't followed through on that. It has to be timely. Now, 2 places where I think recruiting companies and internal recruiters and HR departments, period, can expand their horizons is by thinking about their representation to those 2 individuals, those 2 customers, the hiring manager side and the talent side, as a company, as a whole, as a group, rather than the individual. For too long, I think we've been focused on individuals as recruiters when we are not tied to the individuals that do our recruiting. We are the company. When you do your return to Amazon, you don't do your return to Beth. You do your return to Amazon. When you went out and had a fantastic experience at a restaurant, you didn't have a fantastic experience with Casey at that restaurant. You had a fantastic experience with that restaurant. The company, not the individual. And to expand on that even further, how you interact with these customers has to be done in an omni-channel manner. So it's not only over the phone, or it's not only through your chatbots and email. It is through every single channel that they want to interact on. If they're texting all day, you better text them. If they're out on Facebook Messenger all day with their friends, you better be there. If they're on WhatsApp because they're using that as their daily conversation medium, you better be there. It's wherever they want to be interacted on, interacted with. So you better be where they are. Omnichannel, that's what it's called. As a company. If they show up and text me and say, hey, I need an update on my job, but I'm not working that day, someone better be able to get that text and reply back. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can take advantage of that. But let's wrap this all up. If we're thinking differently towards the recruiting industry, we're thinking today like a customer service rep. If you think about all your experiences, the main themes that keep coming away are they were transparent, they were timely, they were about the company and not the individual, and they were interacted via omni-channel. So wherever you wanted to be, that's where they were, and that's where they gave you the service. So if you can, in your recruiting environments, add more transparency, be much more timely, act as a company and not as your individual recruiters, and be omni-channel, I think you stand to gain a whole lot of space within this recruiting industry because not a lot of people are doing that. So if you're curious to find out more ways about how I'm thinking differently about recruiting, feel free, hit up bradowens.com. All of this podcast content, all of my articles are there. There's plenty more where that came from. There's more of these Think Differently episodes to come soon. Hope to be able to do this a lot more frequently now that I'm on the mend and all back and ready to roll. Please send me an email, hello@bradowens.com. And again, all of this can be found at either transformrecruiting.com or bradowens.com. Hint, they're the same site. So go to bradowens.com. I'll see y'all next time and hopefully be able to just actually see you. We'll talk soon.